지금부터 2016 ITTF 월드 투어 코리아 오픈 여자단식 결승 경기를 시작하겠습니다.
We will now begin the women's singles match.
선수들 입장할 때 관중 여러분께서는 뜨거운 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
Annyeonghaseyo and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2016 ITTF World Tour Korea Open, a super series on the World Tour. I'm Adam Bobrow, your commentator, and that is adorable. Liu Shiwen on the right, world rank #1, the biggest smile I've seen in some time. Again, walking out with her guardian and protector. It's a great opportunity for fans, young players, to be with top players in the world. So Liu Shiwen has seemed unstoppable lately, despite not having the opportunity to play the singles at the Olympics. Seems to be having a great time right now. Oh, that's so sweet. Liu Shiwen, world rank #1, the top seed in the tournament. And her friend but rival on the table, the Queen of Hearts, Ning, world rank #2, the second seed in the tournament. And together, they put on an incredible show time and time again. Played last week in the finals, the Super Series of the Japan Open, and it was Liu Shiwen who won. Head-to-head, Liu Shiwen and Ning have played 21 times on the World Tour. 14 of those times have gone to Liu Shiwen. You might have seen them moments ago playing in doubles, 2 matches before. Our head umpire for the match, Lee Chong-gum from Korea. Very pleasant table tennis fanatic and very experienced umpire. Our assistant umpire, Kim Kyung-hee from Korea. So you can see on screen from the quarterfinals on, but I'll give you from the beginning of the main draw. Liu Shiwen beat Taeyana 4-0. Following that, beat Chung Yi-ching 4-1. And Chung Yi-ching was a very impressive performer last week in Japan. Also the Ask a Pro Anything star for this week's tournament. Subscribe to ITTF's YouTube channel to make sure you catch the fun videos, the excitement, and the greatest moments. And of course the Ask a Pro Anything interviews where you get to meet the players and see them having some fun. So Vladimir Samsonov and Chung Yi-ching coming up for that. But Liu Shiwen, after beating Chung Yi-ching, moved on to beat Feng Tianwei, one of the more difficult opponents she has in the world, a thorn in the side, if you will. But it was a 4-1 victory for Liu Shiwen, and after that she beat teammate Zhu Yuling 4-0. That was earlier today, and quite a surprise considering their history and how well Zhu Yuling has played in the last few years. After all, Zhu Yuling had beaten Liu Shiwen 3 out of their last 5 encounters on the World Tour. On Ning's side of the table, as they get ready for the coin toss, Ning started off against Du Hoi Kem, who actually beat Liu Shiwen in April in Hong Kong at the Olympic qualification tournament. Liu Shiwen wins the coin toss here. He's going to take the serve. Ning standing on the side of the table. She's on now. They have a 2-minute warm-up. Du Hoi Kem, it was a 4-0 victory for Ning. After that, Miu Hirano of Japan, getting dangerously close to the top 10 in the world. Ning beat her 4-0. After that, Hina Hayata, you might have had a chance to see some of their highlights and points on the ITTF Facebook page. Hina Hayata with a very impressive match, taking the first game, but Ning quickly turning it around. 4-1 win over Hina Hayata. And earlier today, number 24 in the world defender, Lee Jie from Netherlands, took the first game against Ning. And again, the next 4, Ning took. Similar to her pattern against Hina Hayata, some adjustments were made. Ning with some wisdom in the corner. Not right now, but during that match had Kong Ling Hui with her. There's Lee Jong-un again. Now, one of the most dramatic matches I've seen in my life was these two players playing, Liu Shiwen and Ning, at the women's singles final from 2015 Suzhou, the World Championships. Again, a very back and forth match. Liu Shiwen leading 2-0 in the 7th game when Ning rolls her ankle. Takes 10 minutes to recover and try and heal. Plays on the injury and wins in the 7th. Liu Shiwen just seeming a little faster as she tends to be. This is Ding Ning's chance at revenge from last week in Japan. And it's the softer shot that ends up being left out in front of Liu Shiwen. The fast pace, quite comfortable for both players. But again, just breaking the rhythm. See, that ball doesn't quite reach out as far as Liu Shiwen's hoping.
1-2.
These quick patterns, right back out into the forehand. Ding Ning holding her shoulder there for a minute, pretty early in the match to have to be concerned about any physical condition. We'll break off the top of the net to help Ding Ning tie it up.
Day 2-4.
Powerful backhand when Liu Shiwen tucks away. Even a step behind the table, enough power to finish the point. Long push, a little bit of a jump. And it all comes together.
3-0.
It's a rare occasion. Not too often you see Liu Shiwen hit it into her own side of the table. Must be going for the long serve there.
3-4.
She's had a few moments looking at the edge of the table. You might recall a pretty spectacular point last week in Japan where Ding Ning hit the edge of the racket. The ball seemingly out of play, goes straight up high, curves back down, and catches the back edge of Liu Shiwen's side. 1 in a billion shot.
4-0.
Ding Ning tying it up at 4 points. Good ledge for Liu Shiwen. She's looked quite puzzled the last 3 points. Between serving into the edge, looping with her forehand off of Ding Ning's block into the cross-court forehand. Something seems a little off for Liu Shiwen's forehand right now. But the back edge comes back. The twists and turns, this is like instant karma out here. The ball is round, as they say. Ding Ning giving that look like, come on.
Five, 6.
Heavy push deep into the body. It's really so amazing how certain titles get you recognized, whereas the overall winning record or performance can leave somebody left in the shadows. Just thinking about how Ding Ning winning the World Championships in 2015. Outstanding rally, both players testing each other cross-court down the line. Both wings, forehand and backhand. And that lean of the upper body is a lot more common to see from Ding Ning. Again, the wide stance. Taking less steps, but bigger steps.
7-all.
Not only are you looking at the top 2 players in the world, but you're looking at the last 2 years of ITTF Star Award, Female Athlete of the Year. 2015 was Liu Shiwen's year, 2014 was Ding Ning's. Liu Shiwen taking the Polish Open, the Women's World Cup. Now the edge that came down on the back edge of the racket to the back edge. Would be amazing to see it given back to Ning. Either way, really, it'd be amazing to see, regardless of who does it. And it seems that the kick of the ball, catching Liu Shiwen a little bit off guard. Well placed right on the body, some pressure. Again, not easy to find the middle of Liu Shiwen. Rarely will you ever hear me say someone found the middle of Liu Shiwen. But Ning just did. Wide angles, and now we've got 3 game points for Ning to take the first game. The last ball was way up and out. 1 game point saved by Liu Shiwen. Just a missed contact there. Must have caught the edge of the racket from Ning. Liu Shiwen pinpointing the middle, then breaking it out wide to the open forehand. Very persistent off the bounce play from Liu Shiwen. And not many people can really force Ning into an out of position. Well, that's the thing. It's an out of position shot, but still quality enough, much like Xu Xin's left-handed shot from in near the body. But against Liu Shiwen, it's going to be trouble. 1 more game point here for Ning. Oh, and slows it down, and Liu Shiwen just misses the contact. Can't believe it. 11-9. Ning takes game 1 over Liu Shiwen, and we'll be back for game 2 right after this short break.
Second game, Ning to serve, lock balls.
We're back for game 2. Ning with the lead and the serve. Ning's variation of spin and trajectory right now is causing a little bit of trouble for Liu Shiwen. Mostly Ning is able to put pressure on early and back Liu Shiwen off the table. Let's see how she's doing it. That is just too strong right at the back of the table after going wide to the forehand. Quickly comes in and seizes the wide angle out to Ning's forehand. Look at this one more time. Look how quickly she covers that ball, takes it right off the bounce and bends it away. Touch to keep the ball in play, and there's the middle again. Ning down the middle of the table, getting Liu Shiwen caught up in the crossover. It's a pretty rare racket motion to see from Liu Shiwen. Heavy push deep into the backhand corner. We got Liu Shiwen turning the corner now, trying to get the forehand more clearly into play. It's a good sign for Ning that she's breaking Liu Shiwen's typical rhythm, comfort zone.
3-2.
So last time they played last week in Japan, it was a 4-2 victory for Liu Shiwen, and she lost game 1 as well. Just by a margin of 2 points, except instead of 9-11, it was 17-19. just missing the back edge. Much like Shushin, we love to see the left-handed Ding Ning off the table in the fishing lobbing game, not afraid to counter back. But a very subtle ball way out wide to the forehand side from Liu Shiwen. Just missing the pressure of Ding Ning to get some of these shots back. The crowd loving it out here. This is the greatest when you watch the best in the world play the second best in the world. They really push each other to outperform even the best performances that they've ever given. And again, Liu Shiwen 25, Ding Ning just turned 26. It's a pretty ripe age, I would say, right around the peak of the careers for these players. When you play for the Chinese national team, usually somewhere between 24, 27. That's when the peak happens. Serve right at the baseline for Ding Ning, but it comes back. Liu Shiwen getting the quick turn for the forehand. Just missing the edge again. Ding Ning being run around the backcourt, and Liu Shiwen from off the table still managing to control Ding Ning. A lot of pressure on these shots. With the long strides and the footwork, the way Ding Ning sort of carries herself, it always concerns me that we're going to see another ankle roll. Korean coaching staff quite rich as far as former players go. Here in support, of course. Little hesitation on the receive, but the double pump still turns out to be a decent opening shot for Ding Ning. Pressure continues, and they keep pushing each other to find the opening, to get each other off balance. Really, we've seen more rallies with both of these players more than a step behind the table. Ding Ning stays close, though, and it pays off. As strong as Liu Shiwen is from off the table, she's that much less threatening and has less of an angle to control Ding Ning. Ding Ning's keeping the pressure on, forcing Liu Shiwen into some uncomfortable shots. Remember, you're looking at not only world rank number 1 and number 2, but also number 1 and number 2 in the race to Doha, positioning for the World Tour Grand Finals coming up later this year. Ding Ning caught a bit off guard there as that ball comes down on the far corner of the table. I think we can all relate to that feeling. Surprise, surprise, kicking ball to the deep corner. So the 2-point lead is disintegrated. Liu Shiwen fighting to stay right at the table. Again, finding that fine balance between how much speed and how much spin to put on the ball in addition to her placement. That's a break for Ding Ning. Liu Shiwen gets a ball up over the table. That backhand makes it. It's going to be trouble bending away into the backhand of Ding Ning. There's that angle. Again, Liu Shiwen right at the back of the table. Dangerous. She takes it so early, not allowing time for Ding Ning to get there. Keeping the angle on the ball, exiting the side of the table. And you can see it's exhausting for Ding Ning. Usually against the choppers when you see her in that position. Tied up at 9 points each. Chance for Ding Ning to break open a 2-0 lead, and chance for Liu Shiwen to tie it up. Finally, Ding Ning gets the turn, tempting Liu Shiwen after several backhands on top of the body. Both players testing each other, trying to find the turn. Just enough pace on it. The turn from Liu Shiwen's a little bit late. Game point to Ding Ning. Clever shot right back behind Ding Ning from off the table. Liu Shiwen with a quick decision. Again, not a lot of time to think and prepare out here. Experience, muscle memory, feeling, and knowing the patterns. It's all going on out here to take it to 10-10 deuce in game 2. Ooh, rare that we see a ball hit the hand of Liu Shiwen. Heavy spin and the ball kicks. Looks like it hits the thumb. And on the shovel serve with the inside-out spin, there's more underspin on it than Ding Ning realizes. Can be a very effective serve. A lot of people expecting top spin or straight side there. So second deuce point here. Makes me wonder why it says deuce Liu. Liu Shiwen's deuce. Seems like this is something they share. Maybe saving the game point makes it your deuce. Now game point for Liu Shiwen. Right at the back of the table, Ding Ning puzzled, but game goes to Liu Shiwen, 13-11, and it's tied up at 1 game apiece. We'll be back for game 3 to see who steps into the lead just after this.
Okay, initiate the serve, lock on.
We're back for game 3. Liu Shiwen starting off with the serve, tied up at 1 game each.
Lock 1.
Ding Ning backing Liu Shiwen off the table. Some of these higher arcing spinny balls. It's that one right there that backs up Liu Shiwen, played on the body. A little bit off the top of the net to tie it up. Some quality blocks early on from some very crisp shots from Liu Shiwen. It's not the first time we've seen Ding Ning throw the racket at a net ball. And I think this has something to do with footwork as well. Of course, the net really took a lot off. The quality of Ning's shot is enough to keep her in the top 2 in the world. But Liu Shiwen's agility, quick footwork might get her in to receive that ball.
2-all.
You can see that Liu Shiwen definitely realized it was to her disadvantage to be back there trying to come back in as early as possible. Ning really getting her forehand into play there.
4-2.
And for either of these players, if they're given a ball that's clearly forehand or backhand and they're not chasing it, they're going to have a very strong advantage. Big opening shot. Closer to the table, the kick is going to affect you more, a little bit less time to react. But this is a risk versus reward factor out here. It's more dangerous playing closer, and you're more dangerous playing closer as long as you can handle it. Perfectly placed serve just comes off the back edge. Ning extending her lead to a 4-point lead here. Watch where this comes off the table. It's as close as they come. If Liu Shiwen can't get a swing at it, nobody can. Actually, Li Xiaosha last week clipped the table going for a ball just like that.
Leg 2-6. 3-6.
Never a good time for a service error. The lead is extended to a 4-point lead again by Ning. Relatively early in the match. It's the most expression I've seen out of Liu Shiwen since her big smile walking in with the Guardian. Excellent shot down the line. Ning changing it up to the short side of the table. It's a high pressure shot here. Considering how deep she was, middle on the forehand side. Really leaves open the backhand, but it was a crisp, unexpected shot.
4-8.
So remember, neither player has a coach in the corner. They're going to use the timeouts when they feel. Typically timeouts a little later in the match when players don't have coaches. And here it is, the timeout. Stopping the comeback. Ning feels that this could change the outcome of the match. Feels that the timeout is necessary here. I might have talked to you about how Ning has not only a traditional tomahawk, I guess I should say not only the reverse tomahawk, which you see much more frequently than her traditional tomahawk, but she does have both, and the reverse tomahawk is a very versatile serve. She can serve it short and long, topspin and underspin, straight side spin, and anything in between, all over the table. I've seen her play long top and side to the deep backhand of her right-handed opponents. Lee Chul-sung there, coach in the private booth. Wouldn't be surprised if that person is from his DNA, his gene pool. And right out of the timeout so far, it hasn't kicked in. The streak continues. Liu Shiwen down from 4-8, now within a point. Serve hits the edge of the racket. The kicking serve again in the middle of the table has caused a little trouble for Liu Shiwen on a few occasions here. Similar serve right back, and Liu Shiwen within 1 point again. Liu Shiwen thought the point was over. Maybe it was a miss hit. When do you ever see Liu Shiwen standing up straight? Love to see that one again. Let's watch. Caught the edge of the racket, stands up straight, and the ball comes back. The point is not over until it's over. 2 game points for Ning now. Full commitment on the step around, inside out forehand, and Ning takes it. It's 11 points to 8, 2 games to 1 for Ning in the lead here. We'll be back for game 4 after this short break. Stay right here. We're back for game 4. Ning in the lead, 2 games to 1 over Liu Shiwen at the bottom of the screen, receiving the serve. Liu Shiwen having some doubts again about the forehand rubber. Ning coming in this time, getting fully in. You could hear her kick the cage under the table for the forehand flip. A little bit of side spin on that push, but still no problem. Well read for Ning. And a quality deep push there. This is the most off balance I've seen Liu Shiwen look in some time. Credit to Ning for mixing up her placement, keeping her shots unpredictable. And Liu Shiwen seems to have a little bit of pain in the hand. Not sure if it was just from that last point. Haven't seen such a reaction, a wince from her up until now. First point this game for Liu Shiwen.
4-1.
And off the table, hooking it back into Ning's body. Liu Shiwen takes her second point. Ning looking for that inside-out wider ball. Now, one thing we rarely see in the women's game is the around-the-net shot, the roller as they call it, coming in lower than the net height. Where you draw the line for what is a roller, I guess if it bounces more than once on the table.
3-4.
Most recently, of course, Fan Zhendong versus Simon Gauzy of France, with the shot that went viral last week in Japan. Would love to see Liu Shiwen do a similar shot, except on a loop from out wide on the forehand. Ning keeping the pressure on. Liu Shiwen not able to fish and keep it in play. So many times Liu Shiwen has made a shot from way out wide on the backhand. But has time there and it hits her finger. Second time we've seen a finger shot from Liu Shiwen this match. A little bit off the top of the net, but Ning is getting clever with her placement. She's quick right at the back of the table. Staying authoritative, aggressive. See how much she comes through the ball, drives it forward. Two spinny shots from the backhand. Liu Shiwen, similar score to last game, starting to make her break. How quickly Ning gets right back into recovering and learning from her errors.
4-7.
Soft touch to start it off. Liu Shiwen setting up the point. And that ball right there that she left over the table forced Ning to come in a little bit late, push long, and give Liu Shiwen the opening. Another ball on the hand. Ning working very hard here to keep the pressure on. Forehand after forehand. Yeah, she hits the hand once again. Can definitely be stingy depending on where it hits you.
6-9.
Feel it's like biting your lips sometimes. Not only does it swell up, but sometimes you become aware of it. And in trying to avoid it, you keep finding the hand. Oh, the hooking side spin. You don't see that from Liu Shiwen. Tries to change it up. And there's some ache going on out there right now. Moon Jung in the crowd quite happy with the performance. The one shot from Liu Shiwen that sent Ning out wide to the forehand was pretty crazy. From in near the hip, the short stroke again pulling a Shu Xin, bending it away. But it's 4 game points for Ning to take a 3-1 lead. And she does it, 11 points to 6. Ning, 1 game away from taking revenge and taking the title over Liu Shiwen, which rarely happens for Ning. We'll see what happens game 5 right after this. Stay here.
Fifth game, Shiwen to serve, love ball. Love ball.
Quickly starting off, Ning takes the first point of game 5. Now remember, head-to-head, Shiwen twice as likely to win throughout their career as Ning.
2-love.
Now it's tough to know how much credit to give to each player, whether Shiwen is playing a little bit worse than usual, Ning is playing a little bit better than usual to push Shiwen out of her comfort zone. I'd like to think that it's Ning right now.
3-love.
But between finding the hand, backing Shiwen off the table, finding her middle, really a needle in a haystack. Just long, almost comes down on the table. Some of the best points in the last few years have been when Ning is stretched out wide on the forehand and retrieves it with a high ball, lobs it back. Against Wu Yang at the China Open, I think it was 2 years ago now, was nominated for Point of the Year. Seems like maybe a flash in the crowd, a little warning.
1-3.
That's what that holdup was before the point started.
1-4.
Now we're seeing body language and posture from Shiwen that I don't think I've ever seen. Between that hooking side spin attempt after the long, spectacular rally in the last game, some of the fishing shots is pretty unusual for Shiwen.
4-2.
And as Shiwen feels that she still has a lot to prove, titles to take, showing the coaches that she's responsible and world #1 for a reason, she's probably still going to fight for every point. Lobbing game starts. Deep in the backhand, it's off the table. And Ning keeps it on for a few. She's solid back there, but it's still just so much ground to cover. And with the angles that Shiwen can play, it's just a question of time before that inside-out forehand comes out wide. Ning knows well to keep the lobs deep on the table with topspin.
3-5.
So far, the Shiwen that made it here to the finals and won last week in Japan, we haven't quite seen against Ning yet.
6-4.
Or it might just appear that way because of the relative level of play, Ning raising her level out here. But Ning has been quite consistent early off the bounce at the back of the table. And playing the angles, as strong as these shots are, that last ball just doesn't normally get past Shiwen. See, she gets that one back. Similar quality ball, maybe a little more shallow on the table. Shiwen having trouble sort of tracking the bounce.
4-8.
And no timeout for Shiwen, down 4-8. There it is. The whippier shot, looser arm. Bit more pace from Shiwen. Still 3 points down. Yeah, even in the slow motion replay, those last 2 shots are pretty crazy.
9-5.
Backed off the table, covering the body with the forehand. And a tongue out. Some expression out here that we don't normally see from Shiwen. There's the quality shot, the Shiwen that took the Women's World Cup last year. Shyness in the crowd. Just accelerating through that ball. It seems so effortless when she makes that shot. Ning keeping the pressure on now with 4 championship points to get revenge on LIU Shiwen from last week. Break off the top of the net, an apology from Ning, but an outstanding performance. The Queen of Hearts is the Queen of Korea this week. The women's singles champion, 4 games to 1 over the 2015 ITTF Star Athlete of the Year, LIU Shiwen. So world rank number 2 is number 1 here in Korea. Coming up after this as the crowd cheers Ning will be Shushin and Ma Long. An exciting day, and an exciting match coming up for sure. Stay right here for the last match of the day. You're watching the Korea Open 2016.
다시 한번 두 선수에게 뜨거운 격려의 박수를 부탁드리겠습니다. 잠시 후에는 이번 대회 마지막 경기 남자 단식 결승 경기가 진행되겠습니다.